Okay, we need to talk. Grab your nearest wiener. That was disgusting. And let's get into it. I got a fork and knife. We got a bunch of wieners. I actually got 5 of them. 5 of these I'm gonna eat. I'm a fucking psychopath, but I'm just gonna eat these wieners like a gentleman. And we're gonna talk about some things because things might not change drastically, but there's gonna be a couple of changes to the channel. Oh, it's wiener in my mouth. It's so hot. I'm also gonna be eating granola. It's the craziest mix of meals, but we're living like a fucking college kid because I'm gonna low-key start living like a college kid, and that's what we're gonna get into. So life has been lifing recently, and there's a lot of changes that are happening pretty rapidly, and although they're very stressful and making me very anxious, they're good big steps into, you know, the real world. Like I'm becoming an adult, you know, I'm 20 years old, and I'm starting to sprout my wings a little bit and like fly on my own. Just like I'm sure many of you my age are doing the exact same thing right now. You know, things start moving really rapidly when you become an adult and you're kind of like, holy shit, let me slow the fuck down and regroup so I don't make a lot of stupid decisions that'll ruin my 30s. So far, I've avoided a lot of that shit. I'm no genius. I'm definitely a fucking idiot when it comes to a lot of things, but financial wise, I've been alright. You know, like I have a spending problem that I've been trying to get down, and I've been trying to get my budget really, really good. And recently I've been making a lot of improvements because I am most likely going to be moving out next month. And I'm recording this September 8th. I don't really know when it's going to go up, hopefully the 9th or 10th, but I'm moving out in October, and kind of, you know, the mental stress of thinking about, you know, my budget basically getting destroyed by a rent that's basically $2,000 a month coming out of my pocket just to live alone and kind of, you know, sprout my wings and be an adult and be a big man like the society tells us to do. And you know, I'm dealing with all the thoughts of like, is this the right idea? Am I going down the right path? Maybe there's something better for me. Maybe there's an opportunity elsewhere that I'm not looking at. And just all these thoughts are going through my head, and it's kind of taking my focus away from YouTube in a way. And I don't mean for it to do that. It's kind of just what's happening. And I've also somewhat sporadically, but definitely intentionally booked myself a trip to Japan for my 21st birthday. Yes, Japan. So my plan, and maybe it sounds fucking stupid, or maybe it sounds in your guys' head how it sounds in my head, but I'm basically going to be going to Japan for 2 weeks on the dot, literally 14 days. Just, you know, having a blast, Tokyo, the countryside. I'm going to do the whole shabam. It's going to be my 3rd time going to Japan. And I know I don't really talk about my personal life on here, but I've already been twice. So this will be my 3rd time. And, you know, I kind of know certain areas, and I'm probably going to stick around those areas because I'm going alone. Straight up, I'm just going to pack a suitcase and fucking fly to Japan, turn 21 in Japan, in Shibuya, in Tokyo. I don't give a fuck. Like, that's what I'm gonna do. And I was stressing myself out so much because I was like, oh my god, is this gonna ruin my chances of moving out? Is this gonna ruin, you know, my like financial wall and financial freedom gonna be ruined by going on this trip and potentially spending, you know, $4,000 or $5,000 in a 2-week period? And then I did an actual proper budget, and I realized that even if I hit this target number of spending $5,000 in 2 weeks, which I'm going to obviously try to stay well below it, but you know, I still want to experience the country, I will still have about 3 or 4 months of rent saved up, you know, to move out. And I don't really need anything. I'm in kind of a lucky situation where I don't need anything to move. You know, the place that I am potentially going to is fully furnished, fully everything. I don't even have to pay for Wi-Fi, gas, or electrical or anything like that. Literally just have to pay rent. Without getting into specifics, because it's kind of like personal, that's what the situation is going to be. And the rent is still a large amount of my income. I'm in a position where if I fail, it would, like, I would really have to fuck up to fail. Like, it would really, really be my fault. And it's been a dream of mine for years, and I've deliberately stayed very focused and been very intentional with the way that I've lived my life in the past couple of years, because it's been my dream for a while to turn 21 in Tokyo. I wanted to turn 21 in Tokyo. Most likely sober. I've been sober for about 3 years. I don't know if I'll break that for my 21st birthday. I'm probably going to decide while I'm on the plane if I'm going to end up drinking or not. I don't think I will, but you know, I just thought it'd be nice to take myself on that solo trip and kind of pat myself on the back for, you know, everything I've stayed true to and all my morals and, you know, hard work that I've put in the past 3 years. And on the outside, it doesn't look like I've accomplished that much, but on the inside, I'm a completely different person, and I've grown a lot as a person. And I feel like this trip is kind of like got through that chapter of becoming an adult, you know, and then moving in afterwards, just like, all right, you're going into the next phase. I feel like I'll hit the ground running. No, essentially is my plan. I don't really know if it's going to happen that way, but that's my plan. That trip is in 2 weeks, literally 2 weeks on the dot, like to the day. It's in 14 days. I'm recording this on the 8th. I know this all sounds like dumb, like white rich kid problems. Like, oh my God, this kid's not actually struggling. People don't even know when their dinner's going to be, and people are fucking struggling. People are getting kicked out, blah, blah, blah. I'm not complaining. I'm just explaining what's happening in my life. You know, this isn't like some complaint that my life is hard. I appreciate my life, and I usually try to take the hard path as much as I can in life. So that argument is kind of stupid anyway. Just giving an update on my life, on my personal life, away from, you know, the YouTube world that I like to talk about. That's my plan for that. In 2 weeks, I'm going to be going to Japan, and probably in 6 weeks, I will be moving out. So things are going to be changing a lot. And unfortunately, what kind of follows with that is the upload schedule is going to get a little weird for for like the next month or two, which I know doesn't really matter because I don't have that many subscribers, but I'm just kind of putting it out there to anybody who does look forward to seeing my videos. Shit's gonna get a little dicey, especially because this weekend I am leaving the town to go see somebody, and then next weekend I am going to my little sister's college to, you know, just visit her and see her for a couple of days, because life's gonna get a little dicey once I move out, you know, and I might not really have that opportunity any longer. So I'm going to her college to visit her for a couple of days, and then flying back home, grabbing my suitcase, and then flying back to Japan. It's gonna be a little crazy like the next couple weeks, and then obviously a couple weeks in Japan, which I'm going to upload some like really basic vlogs, and then I'm gonna do a couple of big videos that I'm not gonna get to editing until I get back home, and those will take a while to come out anyway. You might only see about 10 uploads for the next 30 to 40 days, and life's just gonna get a little weird. So yeah, I kind of just wanted to talk about some shit and give a couple of updates. You know, life's been very stressful, obviously first world problem, but in a weird like adulting way. You know, my mind is changing rapidly, and I'm making rash decisions that I do believe in the moment, but you know, in the back of my head, I'm not 100% confident in them, and like a little worried, you know, not about myself, and you know, because I think I'll always be good. I got a really good work ethic, and when my back's against the wall, I typically perform, but I'm just kind of worried about, you know, how I'm gonna figure it out, because you can't see the future. You know, I could try to predict it and I could try to aim for something, but you know, anybody that's ever tried that, it usually never happens, because the world just throws wild shit at you. I shouldn't be talking with a glizzy in my mouth. Kind of developing, I call it, it's like calculated fuck it mindset, but it's calculated. A lot of people have like this fuck it, I'm just gonna do what I want, and then they're 60 and regret all of their life decisions because they fucking lived like an idiot. I'm doing like a calculated fuck it. Like, I'm taking a lot of bets on myself recently, just very recently, and I'm going to be taking these big jumps and these big leaps in life, but they're very calculated. Making sure I have some months of money over here, and I'm making sure I have a stable income, and I'm making sure that other parts of my life are very consistent, so that if one part of my life falls apart, I have a lot of shit to fall back on, and I have years of, you know, not the greatest discipline on planet Earth, but enough of evidence where I know that I got my own back. You know, like I know I'm somebody that can stick to some shit when I am disciplined. But Japan will be fun. I think that'll give me the type of run that I need to keep running, you know, and sprint into something amazing. I believe in myself, and if you're watching this video, you should believe in yourself too. Be smart with your risks, you know, don't be an idiot. But when everybody in your life is like, really look at the situation, because a lot of people are risk adverse, and a lot of people just want you to go down the safe route and do the safe shit that everybody else is doing. So sometimes you gotta look at those people and be like, fuck you, I'm gonna do what I do. But believe in yourself and be educated. Never step into a room without any knowledge about what could be behind that door. Take calculated risks, enjoy your life, have fun. You know, this life is so finite. I feel like that's the symbolism of, you know, my trip to Japan. I'm never gonna be that age in Japan ever again. Like, I could go to Japan forever. I can go to Japan when I'm fucking 80, but it's never gonna hit the same as when I was 20 years old, turning 21. I just hopped on a flight and said, fuck it, I'm moving out next month, and I'm fucking leaving the country for 2 weeks. What the fuck? Who does that? Who does that stupid shit? But I did it. You know, I'm doing it because fuck it. Take risks. You know, it's 2025. If you're anywhere around my age, and you know, I'm turning 21, society has this weird pressure. You know, it kind of feels like everything's scooting you along, patting your butt, like, all right, let's go, like, get in there. And Gen Z can be very soft at times, although I think we're very honest and blunt. Sometimes you just gotta take that leap of faith when you're too scared to. But don't listen to the rest of the world. Listen to your world. You know, what does your world want? What is your world requesting of you? Because everybody's different. It could be something very simple. It could be like cooking yourself dinner and going to the gym. It could like completely transform your life. Me, I feel like I need something a little drastic. I'm so stuck on these rails of comfort. I could try to like, I go through a certain amount of physical pain. I go to the gym every single day, and I work on this YouTube channel every single day, and I try to get myself these difficult things that are very time consuming and take a lot of effort to prove to myself that I could do difficult things, you know, when more difficult, actual difficult things come. And whatever that version is for you, you need to do that. You know, whether it's like learning that new language, or moving out of your parents' house, or going to that different country, or quitting that job that has you on a fucking chokehold. No matter what it is, you got to bet on yourself, because nobody else will bet for you. You got to grab all your chips, and I'm not saying all of your chips. I'm not saying every single chip you have. You don't have to go all in, but start throwing some chips out on the board. You got to play the game of life. I have no interest in watching the game of life. I have no interest in watching life pass me by. You know, I want to play life. I want to jump in. This is my game. I'm player one, and I encourage all of you to really take over. You know, grab that first controller and get in there. Bae, what do I know? Just some random ass kid on the internet talking shit. I'm gonna try to get 1 or 2 more videos out this week. Time is of the essence, and I'm trying to do my best with the time that I do have. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. Drop a like if you did, and yeah, take chances in life. I will see you guys when I see you guys. Later.